From the new straw bed destroying itself after the first night to a completely new structure, here is every fact about the new 26.3 update. After more than a decade, we finally got a new way to sleep in Minecraft. Besides the good old wool bed, which we all knew, we can now craft a straw bed with only 3 hay bales, and you get 4 of them, which is a pretty cheap first day solution, if you spawn near the village of course. The straw bed will mostly be used for exploring purposes, because it doesn't set a respawn point like normal beds do, and will destroy itself after the night passes. And of course, it's also good because of its cheap recipe. If you place a normal bed in the nether, it will, as we all already know, destroy itself, along with 50 other blocks, and sometimes even including you. The same goes for the end. But for the straw bed, it's a bit different because instead of exploding, it will just disappear if you try sleeping on it. One thing I didn't mention before is that if you place the straw bed down and start sleeping, but you wanted to look at the sunset and you wake up, the bed is gone. I am not sure if that is a feature or a bug, but for now, make sure you are looking at the right direction before sleeping. A new biome, also known as Dappled Forest, is coming to the game as well, with new trees, bushes, structures, and so much more. The whole biome gives kind of an autumn type of vibe, with all those red, orange, and yellow leaves. I think a new biome was pretty needed nowadays. Dappled Forest generates in many cold and temperate areas of the world, meaning you can find it next to almost every other biome. You want it near the snowy beach, you can. Near the cherry grove, you can as well. This biome is actually a cold one, meaning all the mobs that do spawn there will be in their cold variant, just as cold chicken, pig, and cow. But don't worry, you won't find stray in there, it's not that cold yet. Foxes and rabbits also got a new spawning place, because before foxes were only found in taiga forests, but now they can spawn in groups of 2 to 4 in the new Dappled Forest. Since the biome now takes up some of the space where other biomes would normally generate, it can also slightly change where villages appear, which is not the best, but hey, maybe we will get a dappled village one day. Along with the biome's new appearance, there is also a new wood type, the poplar, which is almost the same as pale oak, but a bit darker and cozier. And it came with a full set: doors, stairs, slabs, signs, fences, basically everything a new wood type needs. Compared to pale oak, I give poplar this one. Red shrubs were also added to the game, which act like a bush in the desert, only that this one is found in dappled forests. You can use them on all dirt-related blocks: grass block, mycelium, podzo, dirt, horse dirt, rooted dirt, farmland, mud, muddy, mangrove roots, moss block, and pale moss block. And if you use bone meal on one, it doesn't grow any taller. Instead, it spreads and creates another red shrub right next to it. If you somehow collect way too many of them, red shrubs can also be composted, so at least they won't completely go to waste. A totally new shelf mushroom was added as well. It looks like a shelf, like the name says, and it can only spawn in the Dappled Forest. And they have a really cool feature. That feature is bouncing. Until the 26.3 update, the only bouncing blocks were slime blocks and beds. Well, now you are able to bounce on shelf mushrooms as well, meaning they can even come in clutch sometimes. While shelf mushroom is a completely new looking block, it is still a mushroom overall, meaning you can craft both suspicious stew and mushroom stew if you just spawn the red or brown one with the shelf one. The last thing about those mushrooms is that they come in 2 sizes, small and big ones, and if you mine each, you will get 1 from a small and 2 from the big one. I mean, it was pretty logical. If you only find a small shelf mushroom, don't worry. 1 piece of bone meal instantly turns it into a large version. Wool stairs got added as well. It uses the exact same recipe as the normal stairs, and they come in all 16 color variants, meaning you have a lot of decoration in your base to fix. Of course, if wool stairs got added, we can't forget about the wool slabs, which were another addition with this update, and just like the stairs, they also come in 16 different color variants. So if you use a bit of your creativity, you are good for the next few weeks. We also got new leaves, which we already talked about, but they now come in 3 new colors, and those are red, orange, and yellow. So if you are doing anything with leaves, you can now make a nice transition. Poplar trees aren't the only thing you can find in the Dappled Forest, but also spruce trees can be found. But they kind of just ruin the whole vibe with those green leaves sticking out of those nice warm looking leaves. One thing you might not notice at first is that poplar trees don't always generate standing up. Some of them actually spawn already fallen over, with shelf mushrooms all over them. One cool feature you probably didn't notice is that since spruce is an evergreen tree and won't drop its leaves unlike the poplar tree next to it, which still does. Each poplar tree even has its own falling leaf particles. So yellow trees drop yellow particles, orange trees drop orange ones, and red trees drop red particles. And those leaf particles are actually one of the things that make the biome feel so alive, because depending on which poplar tree you're standing under, you'll see completely different colored leaves falling around you. You know how wool prevents the skull sensor detecting you? Well, if you walk either on wool slabs or wool stairs, the same is done. One thing that is not the same is if you place the wool block in front of the sensor, it won't detect you, even if you are running towards it. The same goes for stairs. But for slabs, it's not quite like that, unless you stack 2 on each other. The poplar tree is only found in the dappled forest, so you can't just spot them anywhere else, unless you plant them yourself. Even if you collect a red poplar sapling, planting it doesn't guarantee another red tree. Every poplar sapling randomly grows into any of the 3 color variants. If you don't feel like searching for a dappled forest, wandering traders can actually sell both poplar saplings and shelf mushrooms, letting you bring the biome home without even finding one. Red shrubs have an insanely cool feature because they will stay red in every single biome. You can place them down in plains, forest, desert, or even in the end, or the nether. It is always the same red color. Abandoned camps were added to the game and are the only structure that can spawn with straw beds, cushions, and wool stairs, along with filled barrels and even carrots or potato farms nearby. The camps are also of the most diverse structure that ever existed. They have a variant for almost every biome in the game, meaning there are 18 different ones, but that's not enough because there are also 5 variants per biome for it. Depending on where you find the abandoned camp is also what type of wood they will use. For example, if you find one in a jungle biome, there will be bamboo fences. If you find one in a cherry grove, it will have cherry fences, and so on. And if you find 2 abandoned camps in the exact same biome, they still probably won't look the same, because every camp is built using a mix of shared pieces and biome-specific ones. The loot table in this structure varies a lot, but most of the time you will find some glass bottles, cobwebs, coal, wheat, and so on. But if you are lucky enough, you will also find a copper gear, including copper axe, pickaxe, shovel, helmet, leggings, you get what I mean. Well, if you are even luckier, you will be able to find a copper chest sitting beneath one of the barrels, or chest. In those chests, we have potions, iron armor, and in Java Edition, you can even find a diamond in one of those. The cushion also got added, and it's honestly a bigger deal than it looks because for the first time in over a decade, you can finally sit down properly in Minecraft. No more minecart or trapdoor tricks, you just place it, right-click, and your character sits. Just like the straw bed, the cushion won't set your spawn point, so it's purely there for decoration and comfort, letting you build a living room that actually looks lived in. And of course, since it's basically wool with a comfy twist, the cushion comes in a bunch of color variants, so you can match it to whatever build or color scheme you're going for. The cushion is also one of the pieces you'll naturally find inside abandoned camps sitting next to the straw beds, which honestly makes those camps feel a lot cozier than your average loot structure. Did you know that drowned are actually completely neutral during the daytime? Unlike zombies, which are hostile to you all the time, just make sure you don't touch any water, or else they won't like it that much. When you defeat the Ender Dragon and jump into the portal, it will take you to your home or wherever you slept last. But that's not always the case, because if you, instead of jumping in, throw in an Ender Pearl, you will actually be taken to the original world spawn. So if you don't know where home is, maybe keep pearls a bit hidden during this time. One of the crazier, if not the craziest mobs in vanilla Minecraft is the witch riding a chicken. This mob can be created pretty easily. All the player has to do is find a baby zombie villager riding a chicken, which already spawns from time to time, and then simply wait for the zombie villager to grow up, cure it with a golden apple, and once you have a villager riding a chicken, all you have to do is strike it with lightning so it turns into a witch. Shulkers come in all 16 color variants, so you can tell in which one you have food and which one hides diamonds. But did you know dyeing them in Bedrock Edition is much easier, because all you have to do is just click a dye on the shulkers themselves, but for some reason this is not in Java yet? We need an explanation, Mojang. You know that dolphins are already super useful, because they will give you the Dolphin's Grace effect, which gives you a nice swimming boost, but did you know if you feed them some food, they will guide you to the nearest underwater structure, such as shipwrecks, underwater ruins, and even ocean monuments. Subscribe if you got any new information, or you just liked the video, and click here if you want to see more facts about Minecraft.